Hey everybody, First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Hope you're enjoying your Monday and Veterans Day 2019. It's a beautiful day across the Carolinas, but we've got an Arctic front knocking on our door tonight into tomorrow with huge changes heading our way. Let's get right to the radar and temperatures because this tells you the story. There's our Arctic front. We've got some rain ahead of it. Again, this is not going to be a big rainmaker, but there's going to be some pretty good rain coming in after midnight tonight into really Tuesday morning. The real story with this front is the Arctic air mass. I mean, this is crazy cold for this time of year. Below zero in teens, even for the northern plains and the upper Midwest. This is crazy cold for this time of year. So really cold temperatures heading our way. And obviously we've got some snow, some big time snows falling in Detroit, down through northern Indiana, into central Illinois, down to St. Louis. And again, this is all heading our way tonight into tomorrow. And this is going to be a weird day on Tuesday. The high temperature is going to be at midnight and the temperature is going to fall throughout the day. And we are going to see huge changes as we go through the day on Tuesday. So let's get right to the futurecast. We'll talk about the snow potential first and the rain, and then we'll talk about the cold temperatures on the back side of this. And again, this is mainly a snow event for the mountains, so don't get excited if you live east of the mountains. All right, let's get right to the futurecast. So today, ahead of the front, it's actually going to be pretty warm. Temperatures are already in the mid-60s out there. A few locations are going to be in the 70s because of that southwest wind. Kind of, we jokingly call it the blowtorch, but honestly, this is a really warm flow of air. So we'll go into the afternoon hours. I'll stop this at around 8 p.m. tonight. You'll notice we'll start to see some rain move into the mountains. And again, this will all be rain at the beginning, all rain moving in. We'll head towards a midnight tonight. You can see scattered showers, but the bulk of the precipitation starts heading towards the mountains after midnight tonight. You can see the timeline up there at the top. We'll go through the overnight hours. I'll stop this around 5 a.m. This is, I think, about the time we start to see the changeover, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And again, there's going to be a burst of very heavy snow developing here. This is all rain again. So as we go through the morning hours, we'll stop this at about 7:30 in the morning. Again, real heavy snow could be falling for a couple hours in the morning. It'll be blowing, it'll be cold, and with a flash freeze, which means the temperature is going to drop below freezing super quick. Anything wet is going to ice up in the mountains. So roads will be very treacherous starting around sunrise on Tuesday and really only get worse as the day goes on. We go into the afternoon, and again, temperatures will be falling, but we're still going to be above freezing east of the mountains. Now, there's a hint that there might be a few wet snowflakes up on this tail end, up in this area here. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a wet snowflake or two on the backside, but one of the things you got to be careful, I see people posting this guidance way out, is cold air chasing moisture just doesn't work out in the Carolinas. And what I mean by that is the cold air is coming in on the backside of the front. The moisture is out here. So the cold air is chasing the moisture out. If you want to see good storms or snows in the Carolinas, the one thing you need is an Arctic front to come through, and then the next storm comes in behind it and pushes moisture up and over that cold air. That's not the setup we have here. So we sometimes call these antifronts, which is the Arctic front has a little bit of moisture behind it. I'd say 1 out of 10 of these ever produces any snow east of the mountains. And this certainly doesn't look like one of those cases because you could see it's primarily all rain exiting the region. And by tomorrow night, the temperature's falling quickly. We'll probably drop below freezing around sunset. Now, there's a small chance that we could see some slick spots as anything ices up because it's wet from the day. I don't think it's as big a problem as it normally would be in this situation because the winds will be howling behind here, so that should dry things out quickly. But a word of caution, after sunset Tuesday night, anything that's wet from the rain that came through in the morning could get slick. And you can see how quickly this moves out of here. And you may have seen me post this on Facebook and on Twitter earlier. We could have a basically ocean effect snow, or in this case, Chesapeake Bay effect snow, as the cold air comes down the whole length of the Chesapeake Bay and even the Albemarle and Pamlico Sounds. We could see some snow bands develop out there as this cold air moves in. So just something to keep an eye on. That's kind of a cool thing, but somebody out here is going to get a nice little surprise with some good snow. Let me show you the amounts here. I'm going to drag in the model amounts. And again, this is based on everything moving through. And you can see the amounts in the mountains. Some of the hot spots here, again, are around 3 inches. And those are definitely the spots like Beach, Sugar, Roan Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, over towards Mount LeConte, the Smokies. But you can see in the Boone area, I'm thinking 1 to 3 inches, with 1 inch down in the valleys, 3 inches at the highest elevations. And again, there's a hint of maybe a few flakes east of here. In fact, that snow band actually shows up near Virginia Beach. There could be some snow in here somewhere. So you could see this is a pretty big lake effect system. Lots of snow coming off the lakes. I mean, there's some huge amounts in the UP and downwind of Michigan and Erie. So really early season snow event, and really the cold is probably the biggest story with this. And I'm going to show you that cold right now because it's brutal. All right, so let's get right to the cold hard facts here. This is a brutal cold front. Watch this cold front move in. I mean, that is crazy how cold it is going to get as this front crosses our area. And you can see it moving into the Carolinas. And this will be during the day tomorrow. So let me back this up real quickly because I'm going to stop this at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'll show you real quickly, we're in the 50s possibly around Charlotte. Mountains are already down below freezing. Some areas, in this region are going to be in the 50s when you wake up. But boy, it's not going to stay in the 50s as we go into the afternoon. Those temperatures are going to be dropping like a rock. So by the time we get to the afternoon, I'm going to stop this about 5 o'clock. We're back in the 30s in Charlotte. In the mountains, it's already in the teens. I mean, this is just brutally cold air that's moving in for this time of year. So tomorrow will be a shock to the system, even for the hardiest of us. To see temperatures tumble that quickly in such a short period of time, it's going to be insane. You can see that cold air invading the whole eastern half of the country. Let me loop this a couple times because this visually is crazy to see that cold air moving in. And by far the coldest air of the season. We're talking temperatures could be down in the teens and 20s. The coldest we've been in all of 2019 was back in January when we hit 19 degrees. This doesn't even factor in the wind chill, which will be even more. So if you don't have the winter gear out, I'm not hyping this up. This is legit freezing cold air. Your kids are going to have to bundle up at the bus stop Wednesday and Thursday morning. Make sure they have hats, scarves, gloves. I know it's November, but this is by far the coldest air mass we've seen almost the entire year. Colder than anything we saw in January and February. So be ready. To me, that's the real story with this cold front. The snow is always fun to talk about, but it's not going to be as big a deal as the cold air that is rushing in. So I'll post updates throughout the day, tonight, and through tomorrow, obviously. Keep you up to date on this Arctic outbreak. Make sure you download the WCNC First Warn Weather app. That's our weather app only. The news app's great as well. You can download both, but the weather app to me is the best way to get information on this upcoming event. Have a great Monday, everybody.